91.3 WVKR, Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. You're tuned into Local Motion. It's 4:09 p.m. We just heard the track Jiggerbug Waltz by Frank Perowsky, featuring his son, Ben. Ben, are you on the line with us?
I am here.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here. We just heard
Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's my absolute pleasure and delight. We just heard Jiggerbug Waltz by your dad. I'd like to do a brief introduction. Let's talk about the track and talk about your musical stuff. And we'll start off by saying my guest today, Grammy and Tony-winning drummer, percussionist, composer, and producer, Ben Perowsky. Ben is the drummer for the Broadway award-winning musical Hadestown. He's part of several bands and has performed with countless musicians, including John Scofield, Dizzy Gillespie, Rufus Wainwright, Mike Stern, Walter Becker, Ricky Lee Jones, just to name a few. Ben is also curating live music this summer at Westwind Orchard and Cidery in Acworth, New York, and he'll be performing there this Saturday, the 14th, with Brian Mitchell and Danny Bloom in a group calling themselves Meter Maid. And on the 21st, he'll be there as part of the Matt Monastery Trio. And with that, I give you a warm welcome to Local Motion, Ben Perowsky.
All right, thank you.
You got a good thing going on over there at Westwind. Boy, I had a lot of fun when I saw you there a couple of weeks ago, and just a really cool vibe.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun playing outdoors, and just, it's such a joy to be playing music again for people and not over Zoom, and, and live music is back. We're hoping it stays that way.
We sure do hope it stays that way. Oh my goodness, it's a scary time out there. So hopefully things will keep going in the right direction here, but we'll see. So I always like to back up a little bit and say, this is your life, Ben Perowsky. And I usually start off by asking people about their musical upbringing. Yours is a very unique one because your father himself is a professional musician.
That's right, and that was just nice. It always brings a smile to my face when I hear him playing that song. I grew up playing that tune with him, and his sound on the clarinet is just so amazing. And I just heard that last note over the phone just now. The last note that he played on that track is unbelievable.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Now, was drums?
I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
You're also an offspring, but you're also a fan, so that's kind of cool. Were drums your first instrument?
Yeah, drums. I started playing drums. Before I could talk, really. I guess you could say I was talking, but. Yeah, what was I going to say? Well, he played at the Orchard a couple of weeks ago, so that was why I sent you that track. Maybe I'll get him back in October.
Yeah, that would be nice for fall season.
We're going to try to keep it going into as late as we can in October. It's on Saturdays at the Orchard.
Yeah.
But I started on drums, and I'm continuing on drums.
It's never stopped. So when did your dad finally say, or you finally say, Dad, I want lessons, or your father said, here, let's give you some lessons? Which one was it?
Probably both. I think, one of our dear family friends, one of his best friends was just kind of by default was my drum teacher and inspiration. Bobby Thomas, great drummer, played with Wes Montgomery and Gigi Grace, and he was a musical coordinator on a chorus line. He wrote some of that music even, and played with Herbie Mann. And anyway, so he would come over to the house all the time, and so I definitely got with him early on, and then I started taking formal lessons with someone else when I was like 12 for a little while.
And you're raised in New York City, right? This is all in the city.
Right.
Yep.
All in the city. Yep, all in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Uptown in the city.
And you went to the High School of Music and Art?
That's right. Yeah, Bobby Thomas lived around the corner. He would come over every week, and I went to and then when I was like 14, I started really getting serious studying with him, and then I went to High School of Music and Art, and Justin DeChocho was the band director and teacher there.
What were you playing? Were you playing jazz, or what were you playing at that age?
I was a rocker early on, so I didn't really get into jazz until I was like 14 or so, like kind of really checking that out. And then I sort of went really deep into that world. So yeah, and then high school, and started meeting other players at Music and Art High School, which is, that's LaGuardia
High School now. Yeah.
Fame.
So
and all that.
Dizzy Gillespie as a teenager?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not like he called me or something, but I performed with him. This is I tend to I take liberties when I write bios. It's like I performed with all these people. They didn't necessarily hire me, but
yeah, but still, you're on the same stage performing with them, so that's a good thing. I mean, at such a young age.
Yeah. There was this high school tri-state jazz ensemble. Kind of like there's one in Kingston. We did a master class last week with Steven Bernstein. There's this. I'm forgetting what it's called, but there's a Kingston. It's based in Kingston, I guess, but it's from kids from all around.
Bridge Street or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Bridge Street. Yeah, so I played in the tri-state, like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut version of Bridge Street, and you can imagine the kids down in the city. A lot of the really, talented kids came through that band. Like before me was like Kenny Washington was the drummer, Omar Hakim.
Wow,
just lots of talent, and it was like a magnet. And Justin DeChocho was also leading that band, and so we would have guest soloists. So we had Dizzy, we had Billy Taylor, we had Jimmy Heath, Steve Turre, just lots of Joanne Brackeen, I think, Billy Taylor, I said, but so that was an amazing experience.
Yeah, no doubt.
Dizzy. I mean, we did it a few times with Dizzy.
Yeah. When did you realize, like, this is it? This is what I want to do with my life. I want to be a professional drummer. Was there ever any other thought of doing anything else, or was it always, this is what I'm doing?
It was pretty like narrow-minded. I would say. I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do.
Yeah. No, that's a good thing. And from high school, you went to Berkeley.
Yeah, right out of high school, I went to Berkeley, and yeah,
a lot of great students
there. A couple of years in Boston.
Yeah.
I met a lot of players there. I mean, that's the best thing about music school for me was you just get to meet the other musicians. Then they become your people for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life. Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I was still in touch with those folks, or people that I met back then, like Meter Maid coming up this Saturday.
It's such a funny name to me because you can imagine how many times I've been called that because of...
Right.
Yeah. So when I saw you with that name, I'm like, this is too funny. But anyway, please go on.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I was trying to come up with a clever... Because it's a Meters tribute,
right?
Really,
right?
The Meter, it's just an opportunity for me to take a deep dive into Ziggy Modalista's drumming and genius. So, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so the two of the guys in that band, Oren Blodow, who's playing bass and singing, and Danny Bloom, who's playing guitar, who's a great producer and guitarist up here, local on a local, in Bearsville.
Yep.
And
Hidden Quarry.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
And I've been playing with those guys for more than 20 years, and various different things. 30, maybe. I hate to date myself, but it's been a long time. Put it that way.
A few decades. Leave it at that.
Yeah. So it's like that's what ends up happening.
Yeah. And so you're in Boston for a couple of years, and then you got back down. You went back to New York, I assume. Yeah.
Yeah, I went back.
Yeah.
But I met Adam Rogers in high school. Adam? Guitarist.
I don't.
Adam's an incredible guitarist. Lives in New York and plays with everybody. Jarnette Moffat was a classmate.
Wow.
In high school. Bill Charlap was in he was in performing arts, so we met in high school and started hanging out back then. I still talk to him.
Amazing.
But yeah, so Boston and back to the city. Yeah, I went to Manhattan for a bit, Manhattan School.
And when you went to college, you were studying strictly jazz performance, or what was your focus?
I mean, honestly, my focus was get out of school and go on the road and start playing. Unfortunately, I really wasn't. I wasn't into being in school. I was into playing and learning as much as I can. So it was. I was studying and learning a lot, and it was whatever you call it, jazz performance. Yeah, I wasn't like a composition major or a jazz history major, or any of that. It was performance.
Performance, yeah. Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now your dad, this whole time, he's obviously got an amazing career. Did you guys ever hook up as you were starting out, or when did you start playing with your dad? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I started playing with him when I was 5.
Oh.
And so it never stopped.
Oh. That must be the greatest joy for him, is to play with you.
Oh yeah, likewise. It's it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I'll try to get him up here again.
Yeah, that would be absolutely wonderful. Yeah, bring him up.
I produced a big band record for him a few years back. He's an arranger too and composer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What about recording for you? I always like to hear about, how do you like recording? I mean, everything, does its thing, but comparing that to playing live, it's such a different thing. What's your experience recording? Do you remember the first time being in a session?
My first time being in a session, wow, I'd have to think about that one.
Because there's been so many. There you go.
But it is a different mindset. It's great. It's you kind of putting yourself under the microscope in the studio a little bit. Mm-hmm. So that can be great. It can also be sort of revealing, and then be like, oh, well, I got to do this or got to do that, and there's another element. You have to really think about how the sound is getting to tape, or to the computer now. Mm-hmm. But you know what I mean? Like, how's it getting translated, the way you're playing, to get onto tape? It's not necessarily the same as when you're playing in a performance in a big room or where everybody's on stage together. Mm-hmm. You're dealing with a different set of sonic things to think about.
Right.
And
yeah.
So that in itself is exciting and creative too. It's a whole different kind of creative tool. The studio, being in the studio and recording, and it's definitely different.
Right.
It's different than just getting out, sitting on the porch and playing with someone.
Right. Yeah. Totally.
It can be.
Yeah. Oh, I can only imagine. Absolutely. And you've recorded. I mean, when folks, if they want to look at your website, your discography is just mind-boggling, all the things you've recorded and people you've performed with. Perowsky.com. It's you could sit here and just tell stories about all the different various musicians you've played with.
Yeah. There's a
and-
wiki page that's kind of up to date. I haven't paid attention to my website in ages, but there's a relatively during the pandemic, I think I got my wiki page in order, so that there's a long discography up there, and all kinds of history up there, which is more up to date than my site even.
Oh,
but yeah,
wonderful! I love the name of the band you started in 1988, Lost Tribe.
Right. Yeah, that was actually Adam, who I mentioned before. That was Adam and I, and Fema Efron, a great bass player, who also went to music and art before us. But he also used to live up here a while ago.
Oh.
Yeah, Fema was local, and Dave Binney on alto, and David Gilmour, who's now living in Woodstock, the great guitar player. David Gilmour is living in Woodstock.
Oh, good.
Back then, he was he had been in Steve Coleman, Five Elements band, and then he started playing with us, and then he started playing with Wayne Shorter and various other people.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, Lost Tribe was a fun band. I met Walter Becker on a session. Walter's, half Steely Dan.
Yeah.
Who sadly passed away a few years ago. And we met on a session. I was recording and he was producing, and we met, and somehow he had a feeling that I had some kind of a punky jazz rock project. I don't know how he knew, but he knew. And then I literally pulled out a cassette out of my pocket. And cassette. Now I'm dating myself.
I
right?
love it. They're making a comeback, Ben. They're making a comeback.
I know, right? And then he took it back to Maui, where he lived, and called me up and was like, "You guys got to come down here and make a record and blah blah blah. I'll get you signed."
Twist your arm to get to Maui, right?
Yeah, right. So,
oh, that's awesome. And then you guys,
kind of a dream,
yeah, you toured pretty extensively too, right? U.S. and Europe and everywhere. Is there a country that you always wanted to play in but you haven't yet?
Well, I don't know. I've been all over the place, but I haven't been to China yet. I'd like to go there. I haven't played in India.
Oh, okay. How about Africa?
And I haven't played in Korea, and I haven't played in Africa. So I'd like to hit all those places, but I'm not anxious to tour right now, honestly.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you.
I did do a lot of touring for decades. I did tons of touring all the time.
Right.
And I'm happy right now to not have to be doing that at the moment, especially. Although I do love it. The last time I was on the road, I was in Europe. It was in December 2019.
Who were you there with?
I was there with a singer named Trixie Whitley, who's Chris Whitley's daughter.
Oh.
Chris Whitley was a great blues guitarist, and she is a great songwriter and singer and guitarist herself too.
Oh wow!
And drummer. She actually plays great drums.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was fun.
No.
So stylistically, I'm all over the map. Like early when you're playing a jitterbug waltz, I was like, yeah, that's one thing.
There's so much. There's so much.
Yeah.
Now also, and I might be mispronouncing Elysian Fields.
Oh, Elysian Fields?
Elysian, thank you. Yes, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, that was
Elysian
that's
Fields.
a long time project too that you worked on.
Yeah, and so ironically, Oren Blodow, who is him and Jennifer Charles, they're they're that's the Elysian Fields. They write the songs together, and that's their band. So I played in that band for 8 years in the mid '90s and all the early stuff.
Right.
They're still doing it. They keep on putting out records. It's
That's
incredible.
amazing.
They have an unbelievable catalog, which you can get on Bandcamp. Go to their page, and it's just one record after another after another.
That's a great website for musicians. I try to push that also, or going through your websites too. I mean, right? Bandcamp is very musician friendly.
Yeah, more so than like the big corporations.
Right.
So yeah, you're able to put all your records up there. Like I have a page with almost all my records up there.
Mm-hmm.
But you can add other stuff. Like I can add live stuff, and you could add merch and all kinds of things.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, Bandcamp.
But I was going to say, Oren from Elysian Fields is going to sing and play bass on Saturday.
That's so cool. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be great stuff. And also our friend Danny Bloom, who I'm a huge fan of his work as a recording artist, as a guitarist. He's been on the show several times. And I mean,
great.
Like you, stories that could go on and on and on. And, yeah. So, and then you guys also began Liminal Lounge together, right?
Yeah. I was in on the early days of Liminal, early and late, I guess you could say. But that was definitely Danny's thing. One of the first things we did was we played live to the Nosferatu movie at the Knitting Factory, and then he made a record of that.
So cool.
That was great.
Cool. So cool. And your own trio, which I think you started in 1999, if I'm correct, the Ben Perowsky trio with Chris Speed and Scott Colley.
That's right.
Yeah. I do play your trio. This CD
Nice.
that I have, some of the tracks are super long, but I do play Pixie 99 a lot, and it's
That's
just
great.
a really cool CD. I'm one of those old school. I love to listen to the whole CD instead of just a track, but this is a radio show, so you can't really, it's different. So you play a track, but it's just such a wonderful.
I'm glad you picked that track. That's really cool because that track on that record was an improv. That was like a group improv in between songs, or
I love
at the end of. It was like totally unplanned, and then it became its own track on the record.
I love when that happens. I love impromptu. I love pros just coming together and just, I don't know, just it flows with you guys, and it just, that's a fun track. I like that. And in the same year there, 1999, also the great Mike Stern. Oh, he's just silly good. I've seen him at the Falcon several times. He's been there over, last summer and all of that, and he's just mesmerizing on guitar.
Yeah, he was my hero. But I started working with him in the early 90s. I played with him for 4 years or something.
Wow.
And from 90 to 94 or something, I was in his trio.
Wow. Yeah.
I had been such a fan because I was a huge Miles Davis, Electric Miles nut when I was in high school. So I saw Mike playing with Miles a number of times. And then when I got into trio, I was just like, okay, this is
some serious stuff.
I'm in the right place right now. So
yeah.
But then I stopped playing with him, and then he called me for that record in '99, which was called Play. I think you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was fun because we had Frizzell and Schofield on that record.
I mean, come
as well.
on, does it get any better? Jeez, Mike Stern, Bill Frizzell, and John Schofield, and sitting in a room with those guys. Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. And funny thing is, we did it at Pearl Jam Studio in Seattle.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I played on, I guess his name, Matt Cameron's drums.
Wow, yeah.
On that session.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah. They had this giant, it was very goth in there. There was this giant black metal candelabra thing hanging from the ceiling that like you came down, it lowered on a chain and whatnot.
Oh,
it was
man.
so not a jazz studio, you know what I mean?
It must have been a weird vibe trying to play jazz and all of that. It was like, yeah. Oh.
It worked. Somehow it worked.
Oh, no, I doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, your discography, we could go through the list here. It's just unbelievable. But record label, you established your own label also, yeah?
I mean, you know, yes, but it's kind of a stretch. I mean, it's called El Destructo Records, and I did that just so that I could just put my own records out, really.
Yeah.
And have it and call it something.
Right.
But never really did much with that label. Aside from it was just a way to call it. You know, you put out a record. It's like, well, what label is it on? And so I was like, well, you know,
El Destructo.
So my new record is or latest record is not new anymore. The one.
Upstream?
There's a trio record, Upstream with John Medeski, another local hero.
Yep, he's been on a couple of times. He's fantastic. I'm a huge fan.
Great. Yeah, Chris Speed.
Yeah.
Again, my man on tenor and clarinet. The funny thing about that record is we did it at the Colony in Woodstock when my friend Pete Kagan was in. He had set up all his gear at the Colony.
I remember that.
It was shut down for a while.
Yeah.
We weren't doing shows.
Yeah.
Right. So we did it on the old stage at the Colony, and then Danny and I mixed it. Danny Bloom.
Yeah.
But that was actually 5 years ago or more.
Right.
And then the record finally came out last year.
Yeah. Wow. And you've got a great gig going on now once it starts up again. Hadestown.
Yeah, Hadestown. Before I start talking about Hadestown, I wanted to mention that the great local, I don't know if he'd want me to say that, but he's local now, Matt Munisteri.
Yes.
Guitarist and vocalist extraordinaire will be... He's currently out on the road with Catherine Russell in Denver, I think. Mm-hmm. Maybe he's listening. But we're going to play on the 21st at West Wind Orchard in Accord with an amazing bass player, Danton Bowler.
Oh, nice.
So
I'm going to play the next, when you and I are done talking, that's the track I'm going to play that you sent me. We'll have a new home in the morning. With Matt. Great. And I saw Matt, he sat in with Steve Bernstein and Sex Mob a couple weeks ago at the Falcon and was it was really cool. So but we'll end with West Wind. But Hadestown, I mean, is that your first foray into Broadway and all of that? Yeah. And did you know Anai, or how did you come about this lovely?
Aeneas I didn't know Aeneas. I came to that through the world that I'm in, really, more musician, jazz related, improvising world or whatever, songwriting, so Todd Sikafus is how he's a bass player and orchestrator and arranger on the show. And Todd, he played with lots of different folks. He plays with Ani DeFranco all the time.
Oh,
and
nice.
That's his main gig. But he lived in New York for a long time, and we used to play lots of shows. We even played up here. We used to play at the Pinecrest. Is that what it's called? The Pinecrest Lodge.
Oh, you mean Jeremy Bernstein?
No.
Okay.
That's
the Pines, right?
I'm talking about like 10 or more years ago in Woodstock. I used to do shows. It's called the Lodge.
The Lodge. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So Todd came up, and we played with David Torn there, and we played there with Medeski. Anyhow, Todd started working with Aeneas and got involved, and they made a record of Hadestown, of this is Aeneas Mitchell's songs, her and Michael Chorney, the guitarist from Vermont. They developed this music for a long time, for years and years and years, and then finally they made a record. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then they started making a show out of it. Like, she started working on making it into a show, because it was like a concept album.
Right.
About the Greek myth, Hades and Persephone, and the two myths, and Orpheus and Eurydice. So it's two intertwined myths. And she's developed it into a show over years,
It started off-Broadway, didn't it?
I mean, it started on the road with her and Michael and Rob Morris, their bassist, and both of them are still in the band and on stage with us. It started on tour where they were doing it like kind of a show, but then they developed it some more, and then they did it off Broadway, and that's when I joined.
Nice. And then it moved to Broadway in 2019, from what I understand, and
that's right.
It all went nuts. 14 Tony nominations. Won 8 of them. Best musical, best original score. How much fun is it doing that? It's a lot of work, right? I mean, you have how many shows? 8 shows a week when you're open and on?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they do 8 shows. I know.
Yeah.
That's the good thing. The cool thing about Broadway music thing is they've been hammering out the music contract for decades. So we have subs. I have a bunch of subs that can come in and, do the parts. Mm-hmm. You have to do it pretty much like it's consistent. They're looking for consistency.
Sure.
Some shows have more room than others, or some of the musicals, but generally you have to come in and do it like whoever is the drummer or whoever's.
Right. From what I understand, this show is opening back, or I don't know if all of Broadway, but Hadestown opening back up September 2nd. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah. How you feeling about that?
A little nervous.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm excited about it. I'm actually going back to work in a week, so I got to get in there in the booth and set everything up. I got some new drums coming in.
Oh, nice.
It's great. I'm psyched about it. I'm gonna try out this new drum kit. Actually, tomorrow night in Nyack. I don't think your listeners.
Yeah, we go. We cover all of that.
It's great. Yeah, with Steven Bernstein.
Oh, nice.
We're playing in Nyack tomorrow night with Steven, Doug Womble, and Marcus Rojas on tuba.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that is going to be a ton of fun. And I'll be playing the Hadestown drum kit.
You got to break that in a little bit, don't you?
I'm going to break it in. Yeah, exactly.
Hadestown is where? I think you told me at the Walter Kerr Theater?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I went online there just today just to get a little info about the show, and boy, tickets are selling, shall we say, briskly. There's a few tickets here and there for shows, but
Wow. That's good news.
Yeah, it is good news. So it looks like there's definitely some tickets being sold to that. So I just want to end this by saying there's an amazing series that you're curating at West Wind Orchard. I had never been there. I've lived in the Hudson Valley most of my life, and I'd never been there. And it's in Accord, and I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't know what to expect. So as a first-time person going in, you're like, an orchard. Well, this isn't just an orchard. This is so well done and so beautiful. The food, the drink, the vibe, the fire pits, the picnic tables. You can bring a blanket. Families can go. Just a beautiful setting. How did you get connected with that?
Friend of a friend.
As is your whole life. I get it.
No, actually a good friend of mine is friends with the owner, and owner wanted to have music there and needed somebody that knew something about music, and that's how I got involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was good, perfect timing, because especially this summer,
right?
We're going to try. Hopefully, we're going to try it again next summer. And I bet it might be a little more challenging, but we'll see. In terms of scheduling,
right?
But right now we got lucky because a lot of people haven't left to go on tour yet,
right?
And so I was able to snag people like Danny Lewis.
Yes.
From Government Mule, who you came to see.
Yes. And Tony Garnier.
Tony Garnier, who would normally just be gone right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you'd never get them in the summer. To try to get those two guys on the same show with you, forget about it. It wouldn't happen. Yeah. So Danny's actually...
around.
Yeah, everybody's around. Yeah. Government Mule is starting up. Danny's going to be a guest. We just confirmed he'll be here early October. So I'm really stoked to have Danny on too.
That's great.
Yeah. And Tony, my goodness, Tony with, of course, Dylan's bass player and Asleep at the Wheel, and who has he not played with, So always a treat. And this Saturday at West Wind, you will have what you're calling Meter Maid with Brian Mitchell, Danny Bloom, and yourself, and you're covering the meters, which have you guys, you did some rehearsals, I think, right? And playing a little bit?
Not exactly.
No?
We've definitely been planning and doing our homework, and we got together over at Brian's, luckily, just for a second. But Oren's down, he's in Brooklyn, so he wasn't there, but it's not going to be sound like a Meters record. But,
it's going to sound so much fun.
We're paying homage, and it's not only Meters, but because we're doing Dr. John stuff that they played on. Actually, the Meters played on some Dr. John records. We're adding in a couple of other things here and there.
I also want to tell listeners, if you're going to West Wind Orchard this Saturday, the music's from 5:30 till 8. Or thereabouts. It's on musician time, and there's donations only, right? It's no charge.
There's no cover charge. That's right. It's a donations. We appreciate your donations. Yeah, that's right.
That's pretty amazing for the caliber of musicians that you're bringing together.
The Orchard. Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing for the audience,
right?
Thankfully, the Orchard is helping us out. They're also helping.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how many people.
They're making this happen.
Right, I can't believe how many people were actually there at your last show. I mean, in Accord, you're really not close to anything much there. And there was a whole array of people, different families, and just a whole bunch of great people. So you got a really good thing going on.
Yeah, it's a really great scene, and I hope it continues.
Yeah, I hope so too. August 21st.
Look on their website, all the events are listed. The whole series is, I should just quickly, the following week is going to be Matt Monastery Trio. After that is Anatole Trio. It's Megan Gould, violinist, and it's a trio playing Greek music. It's going to be beautiful, violin, I think accordion and bass. So that's going to be really nice.
Wow.
September, I have 2 drummers. I'm spreading it out to drummers. I'm going to be on Broadway, so I'm spreading it out. So Aaron Johnston is going to bring in something. Great drummer who plays with the Brazilian girls. He's going to bring in a band. Daniel Jodeci, who is a great drummer and also helps on the David Byrne show in Brooklyn.
Oh, wow.
In Brooklyn, on Broadway. He's bringing a band. I don't know if you probably know Johnny Society and Blueberry. Kenny and Gwenny.
Kenny and
Do you
Gwenny.
know them?
No, I don't.
they're coming in September. So anyway, look on the site and I'll send it to you too.
And it's westwindorchard.com, folks, and it's every Saturday.
That's right.
Saturdays, the music's from 5:30 to 8 p.m. Great libation, great food, amazing music, world-class musicians, and there's no understatement when I say that. And just really, really wonderful place. I'm really excited to be going back again this weekend too. So I loved it that much. So yeah, some good stuff.
Dan Levine, the local trombone hero, he'll bring a band in also. He's been sitting in quite a bit over there.
Oh man, keep it going. This is great. We need this live music, and it worked out so well that all these musicians are around now this summer. So it worked out really, really well. So what I'm going to do is play a track by Matt that you send me. I'm also going to play a track from Upstream, and
Beautiful.
We're going to have some fun with this. And Ben, good luck. Best of luck to you in your future. You're doing amazing things here, and thank you for all the beautiful music you're spreading around the world. We need more of it, especially now. And have fun on that new drum kit.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Rita. Thanks. We really need your support out here, and we really appreciate you all that you're doing for the music.
Absolutely. It's all about you guys and getting the people out to see the music. So thank you for your time, my friend, and I'll see you Saturday, and stay safe.
Okay, you too.
All right. Thanks, Ben. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
91.3 WVKR. That's Ben Perowsky. Let's play a track that he sent me from Matt Monastery here on 91.3 WVKR.
Gather round, all ye proud and boastful sons. I've been preaching in the schoolhouse, asking you to raise some building funds. Your contributions have been very slow. I asked the Lord what I should do. Now I have his answer, brethren, so I'll shout it out for you. Bring along your hammer and bring along your nails. We'll find a new home in the morning. Bring along your hymn books. We'll sit on cotton bales and sing a new song in the morning. Gotta start in giving before you can get. Gotta start in doing some things you haven't done yet. Bring along the old folks and bring the children too. We'll have a new home in the morning. We'll have a big camp meeting, big revival day. We'll have the Swanee River to wash our sins away. We'll have a southern moonfall to shine on while we pray. Children, oh, you gotta be strong to keep that devil at bay. around, all ye proud and boastful sons. I've been preaching in this schoolhouse, asking you to raise some building funds. Your contributions have been very slow. I asked the Lord what I should do. Now I have His answer, brethren, so I'll shout it out for you. Oh, bring along your hammer and bring along your nails. We'll find a new home in the morning. Yeah, bring along your hymn books. We'll sit on cotton bales and sing a new song in the morning. Gotta start in giving before you can get. Gotta start in doing some things you haven't done yet. Bring along the old folks and bring the children too. We'll have a new home in the morning and sing a new song in the morning. We'll have a new home in the morning.
91.3 WVKR, Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. It's 5 o'clock on the nose. We just heard the track called Face on the Barroom Floor off the album Upstream with today's guest, Ben Perowsky, and also featuring John Medeski and Chris Speed on that release. Perowsky.com. Ben also has a Facebook music page. If you go to the Broadway show Hadestown, you are in good possibility of seeing him on the drum set. And as mentioned, he's curating a bunch of wonderful world-class music right at Westwind Orchards in Accord, New York, every Saturday. This Saturday will be a show with Danny Bloom and Brian Mitchell, Ben Perowsky, and I believe he also said Oren Blodo will be there. So lots of good music. The music there is of no charge. It starts at 5:30, goes till about 8 p.m. Great food, great libations. Westwindorchard.com. Also Perowsky.com. Thank you for being my guest today. Lots of great stories there. We're going to keep the music going here. You're tuned into Local Motion. If you're just tuning in, and if it's for the first time, this show is all about music of the Hudson Valley, about musicians that are coming to play here, those that live here, and those coming to record in our world-class area recording studios. This performer that I'm playing next will be playing this Saturday at the Falcon in Marlborough. Let's start the 5 o'clock hour off with Oz Noy. 91.3 WVKR. 91.3 WVKR. Bear with me. We have a little technical thing. We're getting a new computer here at the station, so therefore we're working a little bit differently here. So it's taken me a second, but let's keep the music going right now. Brand new music. Brian Mitchell here at 91.3.
Stand up, you can't get up off your seat. The music's no longer playing, you're still tapping your feet. This joint looks familiar, but you're not sure where you are. I thought you been everywhere, but you never left this bar. Take a look around, son, your friends are all gone. You wanna keep on going, there's really nothing going on. Last look, I think you finally know this party is over. It was over a long time ago. A long time ago. You called up all your friends, see if anyone's still up, but nobody ever answers, 'cause they've all had enough. You find a new place to go, maybe meet somebody new. You can tell all those stories about the things you used to do. Take a look around, son, your friends are all gone. You wanna keep on going, there's really nothing going on. Take one last look, I think you finally know this party is over. It was over a long time ago. Into the mirror, tell me, what do you see? The reflection don't look nothing like the man you used to be. You find there is the end, there's nowhere left to go. No one around here cares enough to want to tell you to go home. Take a look around, son, your friends are all gone. You want to keep on going, there's really nothing going on. Take one last look, I think you finally know this party is over. It was over a long time ago. A long time ago. This party was over a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. 91.3 WVKR, brand new music by Brian Mitchell. This party is over. I can't wait to hear the whole CDs. Just coming out with a new CD, Brian Mitchell. Brian Mitchell, part of the Wait Band, also part of Levon Helm Midnight Ramble Band for many years, has played with countless people, including Dr. John and some really cool people down in New Orleans, and just a great, terrific musician. He'll be playing tomorrow night, the Brian Mitchell Trio at the Falcon in Marlborough. Tomorrow with him will be Tony Garnier on bass, who's Bob Dylan's bassist. And Sean Pelton on drums, who's the drummer for Saturday Night Live. So insane lineup tomorrow night, Thursday night at the Falcon. Got to make a reservation to go live at thefalcon.com. Brian Mitchell tomorrow night. Brian will be playing Saturday with today's guest, Ben Perowsky, at West Wind Orchard in Accord. Info there is westwindorchard.org. Brian will be having his CD release show at Bearsville Theater in Woodstock on Friday, August 20th. Tickets available, bearsvilletheater.com. And he'll be playing with the Wait Band at City Winery in Montgomery on September 11th. I'm also thrilled to announce here today that Brian's going to be my guest here on the show on September 1st. So look forward to talking to him again on air in a couple of weeks. Until then, I'm going to keep playing music of this new CD he's got coming out and or just being released now, and hoping to get a handout on a copy of that tomorrow night at the Falcon. We also heard Oz Noy, his latest one called Snapdragon. We heard the track called Evidence, which was a Thelonious Monk tune. Oz Noy on guitar, Dave Weckl on drums, James Genus on bass, and Brian Charette on organ and Rhodes. Oz Noy will be at the Falcon this Saturday night, again live at thefalcon.com for reservations to go to the Falcon. It is 5:14. Let's keep the music flowing right now with Mateo and Dugan Band right here on 91.3 WVKR.
Devil's in the courtyard, no money to be made. The devil's in the courtyard, hiding in the shade, singing, where does the time go? Under the weeping limb. Jewel and Uncle Hare will take the sinner in. Come on, Violet, come on, Blue. Come on, remember the love that you knew. Come on, come on, Blue, dreamer of the dream I truly It's Easter morning, light up on the lane. The sun is rising over the flower stains. The earth and the quiet feed the hungry man. Mama and her children walking hand in hand. Come on, Violet, come on, Blue. Come on, remember the love that you knew. Come on, Violet, come on, Blue. Dreamer of the dream I only
help me reach that milestone. You know, I ain't got no time to wait. Let's go, before my heart is erased. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I work real hard for my money. I'll never get to rest. I could choose to see mediocrity, but that wouldn't be my best. So let's go, let's go. Don't leave me standing on my own. Too slow. Help me reach that milestone. You know, I ain't got no time to wait. Let's go, before my heart is erased. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I can't do my job if you don't do yours. You told me you would open up new doors, but actions speak so much louder than words do. Could you just tell me the truth? Let's go, let's go. Don't leave me standing on my own. You're too slow. Said help me reach that milestone. You know that I ain't got no time to wait. So let's go. It's victory that I can taste. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go.
91.3 WVKR. Lara Hope and the Arctones' brand new release, Here to Tell the Tale. She was my guest here a couple of months ago. Yeah, maybe June. I want to say it was June. And great new album, Here to Tell the Tale. We just heard Let's Go, LaraHope.net. Lara was the 2017 Ameripolitan Rockabilly Music Award, female Rockabilly Music Award winner, and her band just kicks it. They're going to be playing Thursday, tomorrow, at the Hudson Concert Series. Lara will also be back in Hudson on Saturday at the Park Theater, and on the 19th of August next week, they'll be in Middletown at the Equilibrium Brewery. Lara Hope and the Arctones, Here to Tell the Tale. You can find it on Bandcamp, wherever you get your music from. Great new album by that group. We also heard Mateo and Dugan, Time to Fly. Devils in the Courtyard was the name of the track we heard. Great local band, Peter Dugan and Carl Mateo. And Carl, happy birthday. We share a birthday, Carl Mateo and I, which happened to be last Wednesday. And I forgot at the start of the show to say thank you to Frank for covering for my show last week. So thank you, Frank. Mateo and Dugan, Time to Fly. Mateo and Dugan will be performing in Woodstock this Saturday at Colony. colonywoodstock.com. Check out their website. They have a terrific outdoor area, and they put like 5 or 6 groups on a day, Thursday through Sunday, and I believe on Mondays with an open mic as well. And just so much music. I can't even list all the bands that play there because there really is like 5 groups a day, sometimes more. So Colony Woodstock, check out the website. You can follow them on social media and keep up with all the good things happening at Colony and Woodstock. Speaking of good things coming up, the Bardavon and UPAC is opening. They're reopening the doors after a year and a half. And the first band that's going to be performing there is going to get you on your feet. Mr. Trombone Shorty. Let's take a listen right here, right now on 91.3 WVKR.
you came here to move. Showing up tonight so the show improve. I know you feel so good when you're feeling the groove, and I can show you how it's done. But hold on, not so fast. You got the feeling, make the fire last. You wanna feel it from me, I wanna feel it from you. I say, what you gonna do, or what you gonna do to me? What I'm gonna do to you, I bet you like it. Or what you gonna do to me? What I'm gonna do to you, I bet you like it. Late night, or with the lights down low, safe and sound by the bedroom door. I bet you still won't move, I bet you still want more. And then you shaking like you came here for. Crazy to be holding out, waiting till no one's around. There's no better place than here, there's no better time than now. What you gonna do to me? What I'm gonna do to you, I bet you like it, bet you like it. What you gonna do to me? Well, what I'm gonna do to you, I bet you like it, bet you like it.
Darling, don't you know by now you built the home out of this old house? Any four walls and a roof above can block the rain, but only you bring the sun.